everybody and welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new here. Hi, I'm Gina and on this channel I talk all things sewing and dressmaking. Welcome to my week in sewing. I need to finish some unfinished projects. I'm calling myself out this week and we are going to be tackling the work in progress pile. It seems to be growing bigger. And the things that are on there are things that need tiny alterations, they need a hem, it's just little things. Really simple 10-minute jobs most of the time, or I've got stuck into some gorgeous projects and I've just given up halfway through. So I need to fix that. I need to get that pile gone because it's taking up my table in the corner and stopping me from starting anything new. I actually already started tackling the pile yesterday. I made a few speedy, easy alterations to a blouse I made earlier this year. So I'll go and put it on and show you what I did, and then we'll get stuck into the rest of the pile. Let's go. So I wanted to show you one of the little alterations that I've already done. I did this yesterday and I so wish I'd done this earlier. So I made this top in one of my spring sewing videos, and I mentioned in that video that the collar just wasn't sitting flat. So what I did was I went and unpicked the center seam, as a few of you suggested, and then did a teeny tiny baby rolled hem. So we've almost got like a little pointed collar look now, which is really, really sweet. And then a few of you also suggested adding a little ribbon, a little bow at the front. I need to do a haberdashery order anyway, so I'm going to order some ribbon in this exact same color so I can add that little tie detail. And then I think this will be so much better because I've actually not worn this top because of the collar. I tried to wear it once and it just annoyed me so much. And then I tried stitching it down and it still didn't work. So this was definitely the best way to fix it. So thank you so much to all of you that suggested it. I just wish I'd done this earlier because this top is so cute and it needs some wear. So the next project that I need to finish is a disgrace because this literally would take me half an hour, I think, or less than an hour to do these little things. And a lot of them are already pinned and ready to go. It's disgraceful. So I started making this dress during the heat wave. It's so gorgeous. I got this fabric from Rainbow Fabrics, gifted to me as one of their ambassadors. It is sold out now. I'm so sorry. It's such a dream, perfect for summer. So I made this old school McCall's pattern as a maxi dress, just an easy breezy, like beachy maxi dress for heat wave days. Because when we had a heat wave a few weeks ago, I had nothing to wear. I don't have any of these easy breezy dresses. So I started making it, the heat wave ended and it went in the pile. And the finishing touches are literally so simple. So I need to just stitch down the elastic at the front. I need to do the hem, which I've already pinned. I've already pinned it. And I'm also going to add some straps to this because I wanted it strapless, but actually a strapless maxi dress is quite a high risk garment, as I found when I tried it on, because I tried it on and because it ties in the front, it's obviously not that tight and secure. I tried it on, I stepped on it and I flashed, which is not really something I personally want to be doing this summer. So I'm going to add some straps. So yeah, lots of really simple, quick jobs that I really should have done. Really should have done. So let's get underway, get this finished, and then I'll show you it on because it's seriously cute. You can tell that I don't very often use navy thread because look how dusty this is. Navy's definitely not my colour. It's not a colour that looks great on me. This thread has sat on my shelf for many years. So just a quick try on to show you how we're doing with the dress. It definitely needs straps because I've just stood on it and the whole thing nearly came down. So I'm going to add some elastic straps because I think those will look really cute with this kind of detail here. It will kind of all blend in, and I'm actually going to do them in the same fabric as the hem. So in that blue, I think the little contrast detail will be really sweet. Just makes it so much more practical because when you've got this kind of keyhole detail as well, it's already difficult enough to navigate a bra, let alone then being completely strapless. So this is so comfy. I love it. I wish I'd done this sooner. I really do. Because of all the projects I've got on this table, I have no room for cutting out, which is really annoying. So I am going to cut out these strips. They're going to be 1.5 inches wide because I have 1/2 inch elastic to go in here, or just under 1/2 inch. And then I'm going to do them 20 inches long. So they're not too, I don't want them too gathered and bulky, but that should be just enough. This modal fabric is a little bit of a pig, to cut out because it kind of moves and like changes its shape. So it's going to be hard to get these dead straight. I'm just having a quick try on, and I've got to be honest, I don't like these straps. I really don't like the dark fabric. I just think the contrast with the bodice is too harsh. It just looks, I don't know, it just looks out of place. It looks like it doesn't match. Even with the full length, when you can see the hem, it's not working. I do, however, love the elastic effect. I think that's really, really cute. I just don't like the colour. So let's fix that. It's a bit later on now. Here is the dress, all finished. I just need to get rid of some threads, but I'm so much happier with these straps. They look so much better than the dark ones. I'm really glad that I took the time to change them. I'll show you this on tomorrow because I'm going to go and grab a bath, and then I'm going to go and set myself up on the sofa ready for tonight's episode of the Great British Sewing Bee. Episode 2. It's sports week this week, which I must admit is not my favourite week because I'm not a fan of sewing sportswear personally myself, but I can't wait to watch and see what everyone makes. Good morning. It's a couple of days later now. I hadn't managed to get back to anything. We've been so busy, but I'm ready to get stuck into another project today. So this one I think I cut out last year, maybe last summer, and never finished it, and I'm questioning why. Because look at this fabric, it's so gorgeous. It's this pink, almost patchwork style fabric. It really, really gives me Zimmermann vibes, and it's my favourite colour, pink. So obviously I love it. So this was originally a New Look pattern. I can't remember the number and I can't find the envelope, but I'll pop a picture up. And it was a cutout dress. And I cut it out because I really wanted to recreate a Zimmermann dress actually. But then the kind of opportunity, when I'd done it for a holiday and then missed the boat with it, and then I've kind of felt that I don't really want a cutout dress in this fabric because I want something that's a bit more wearable day to day, because I really feel like this print will take me from now in the summer through to the autumn as well. So instead of having the cutout, I'm using the original shape of this pattern and the waistband. So normally with this pattern, you've got the waistband and then the skirt kind of drops here, but I'm just going to attach the skirt straight on. So we're going to have a lovely sheared waistband, a deep V-neck, long sleeves, and then I'm going to shear the cuffs on the sleeves as well. And that should be really, really cute. I actually self-drafted a dress very, very similar to what I'm going to recreate now. Years ago, and I wore it all the time. My mum now has it because it's too big for me, and she wears it all the time. And every time I see her wearing it, I'm like, I need one of those. So we're gonna make another one now. I'm hoping I've got all the bits for this because I did cut it out last summer, but it's looking like we have. So I'm gonna iron all these because they're very, very creased, and then we'll get stuck in. So I've just finished ironing everything, and I feel like there's definitely a couple of bits missing, but it's things like the facing. However, I was organised enough that when I originally cut this out, I actually cut out matching bias tape, which is great because these days I really don't like a facing. I much prefer to bind things. I think it just looks so much neater. So I've got the bias tape ready, which is so good. Well done, past Gina. And everything else I think is fine, aside from the waistband normally has a lining because originally you put elastic in it, but because I'm going to shear this, it really doesn't matter. So that's fine. So I'm just going to start putting the skirt together and just like sew up the side seams on the sleeves and stuff. But first of all, I need to have a fight with my overlocker because for some reason it's unthreaded, and I have tried to thread it back together multiple times and it's still not happy. I've cleaned it, all of this stuff, it is doing my head in. So I am just going to try and figure out what is going on with my overlocker, which might take me quite some time, and then we can actually get underway with this project. Right, this is clean. I've done everything right, so it has no reason to kick off. So you better be happy again. Finally, my gosh. Don't get me wrong, I love this overlocker, but it is a little bit fiddly to thread. There is a technique, and the annoying thing is about it is if it is unhappy, you've got to unthread the whole thing and start again, which I've had to do several times, but it finally seems to be happy. So I'm going to pop the skirt together and finish all my edges and things like that, and then we can get underway properly. Sorry if I'm confusing right now. So I think I just told you I was going to overlock everything, but I actually always stitch my seams through my sewing machine before I overlock them. I just like that extra bit of kind of security with seams. It just makes my garments last so much longer. So I am just pinning and putting together my bodice at the side seams and the shoulder seams, and then I will do the same for the skirt and for the waistband as well. So I finished overlocking everything kind of together, putting my bodice together, skirt side seams, that kind of thing. And while I was at it, I added the waistband piece to the bodice as well. It didn't exactly fit, and because I've lost the pattern envelope and the instructions, I had to kind of do a bit of guesswork with this bit. So what I did was I added some gathers at the bust at the front, just because that adds a little bit more shape around that area, and I'm guessing it would have had something like that originally. I could be totally wrong. It's really hard to tell kind of what this is going to be at this point, because obviously all the shape is going to come from that shirring at the waist. It looks yeah, it looks pretty grim right now, so we have to use our imaginations, but so far the fit's looking really, really good, which I'm very happy about, because I cut this out end of last summer, just before the wedding, where I literally lost so much weight really, really quickly because I was so stressed. So I was a little bit concerned that this wouldn't fit, but it's actually a really, really nice fit, which is great. Sleeves are on and they're looking really, really cute. And they're actually not too tight at all. I was so worried that they were going to be absolutely like skin tight, but they're not at all. They're a perfect fit, not too billowy either, but enough that we can do some shirring kind of around the cuffs, which will look really cute. I think we're ready to attach the skirt. I want to take back everything I just said. So it's not going to work, me adding the skirt first, because the waistbands are different sizes. The waistband of the skirt is not loads, but a tiny bit smaller. So what I'll do is shear the waistband first, and then that will tighten that in, almost like I would be gathering it, and then I can attach the skirt to that when it's a bit smaller, if that makes sense. It just saves me having to do like extra gathering and things like that, because what I don't want to be doing is gathering the skirt onto a waistband and then shearing that. It's just going to be a mess. So let's get shearing first, and actually that would be a good order to go in, because then I can try the bodice on again and make sure it is a good fit before we commit to adding that skirt. I think today is going to be the final day that we work on this dress. It's so nearly there. Maybe it's just me, because I always make dresses with big gathered floaty skirts. I feel like this skirt is really boring. It's just tucked into my shorts at the moment, but there's not anything really going on. There's no ruffle at the hem. There's not really a lot of gathering here either. I just feel like it's a bit bland, but maybe I'm the problem rather than the dress, because I'm used to making stuff with such volume and loads of details. That's something a bit more simple. I'm like, yawn. So anyway, I think what I'm going to do is just take the waist down a little bit so I can release a bit more space around there. So when I attach it to the bodice, it'll be a little bit more gathered. I did have some remnants of this fabric, which I was hoping I could use to add like a ruffle or something at the hem, but I think it's gone in my bag of donations. I donate fabrics all the time, including scraps and things. And I think it was in my scrap bag, which is really sad, because this is a dead stock, so I can't get hold of it again. This is my public apology to this dress. It is gorgeous. I take everything back that I just said. It just needed a little bit more gathering around the waist, and that was enough. And as soon as I put it on, it really, really reminded me of a dress that my beautiful best friend Jodie wears, which I believe is Zimmerman, but I could be wrong. Every time she wears it, I'm like, oh, I love this dress. I must recreate it. So here is my kind of version. Not quite as glam as hers, but we're nearly there. So where we are now with this dress is we need to sort out the hem, which is very, very wonky. But the way this is cut, I'm going to need to let it drop overnight. So I'm going to just hang it up and hem it tomorrow. But we can hem the sleeves and do the shearing around the sleeves and also bind the neckline as well. So all I've got to do tomorrow is hem it and then we're done. So let's get on and finish those last few bits and then we can leave her to hang overnight. Yesterday was in fact not the last day I was working on this dress. I have had a bit of a mare with the neckline. Now, because I cut this out so long ago and it's a V-neck, I think what has happened is part of the neckline has just stretched and I couldn't get it back. I tried altering the shoulder, so kind of bringing it up a little bit to even it out, didn't work. I then tried just using the binding and pulling that super tight so it would pull it in, didn't work. I thought maybe I had elastic. That didn't work either. It was just doing my head in. So I've had to do a bit of a bodge job here to make it come together okay. So I've done a teeny tiny baby rolled hem around the neckline instead of a binding. And then when in doubt, add a pleat. I've just added this kind of pleat knot situation at the front of the neckline and it seems to have evened it out as much as possible. However, it doesn't look the neatest, so I need something to cover that up. So I thought instead of wasting the bias tape, I will use that to make a little tie and then I can have a little bow detail at the front. So we've got a bit of extra detail as well and this doesn't go to waste. So I was just sewing that together and then my bobbin ran out and I didn't even realise. So it's not going well for me today in the sewing room. I'm not gonna lie, I just want this dress done at this point. I really thought I was a couple of easy steps away and we'd be finished, but that's the way sewing goes sometimes, doesn't it? It can be stressful, to say the least. Maybe onto something here with the little bows at the front. I think this has really improved this dress actually. It almost looks like it was meant to be there. How cute does that look? I love that, really sweet. And it covers up so much mess underneath. I'm gonna do the hem now and then hopefully I can show you how this looks on. It hasn't been this long since I've been relieved to see a dress finished. I felt like there were going to be so many more problems with this one, but it's done and it's very cute. I'm going to go and put this on and then find a nice spot to take some videos and show you the finished dress. And I'll also show you how the beach dress looks as well because we're off to Devon in a few days and I definitely want to get a little video of that one by the sea. And there are the finished dresses, two totally different vibes. We've got very, very boho and very, very beachy, but both equally as lovely in my opinion. I'm really happy with how they both turned out. I have a feeling I'm going to be wearing this one a lot, and I cannot wait to wear the other one at the beach when we go off on our summer holidays. And speaking of summer holidays, I can only apologise for the lack of uploads in the last few weeks. We are in school holidays here in the UK, and as you know, I've got 3 young children and a job as well. So this time of year, things are chaos in my household. And unfortunately, YouTube is the thing that kind of goes on the back burner because I have to prioritize my babies, obviously. I owe you some videos. I'm going to be popping up a bonus video on Sunday where we're going to be doing a little sewing room sort out. And then the week after, we'll have another week in sewing, and I'll show you some little snippets from our week away as well. I'm excited for that one. And then the week after, we are going to be making a birthday dress because I am an end of August baby. Although we are coming towards autumn, I'm in full summer mode and I want to make something lovely and fancy and summery for my birthday. So stay tuned for all those videos, and thank you so much for watching today's video as well. That's everything from me today, and I will see you in the next one. Take care and happy sewing. Bye.